Hello, sorry I've been gone, but I got a job and got busy and did not feel like making videos. So today I'm going to do a response to Carnivore Aurelius article on his blog, Lion Diet 6 Reasons It Will Supercharge Your Health and Benefits. I'm going to start off by explaining the lion diet for those that don't know what it is. It's only beef, water, and salt. That's it. To me, that just seems really depressing. But let's continue with this grim diet. The lion diet, a subset of the carnivore diet, as I explained, is skyrocketing in popularity. I don't know why, but okay. The diet was created by Michaela Peterson to deal with her severe autoimmune issues. Like the carnivore diet, has helped people reverse issues such as Crohn's disease, diabetes, which is caused by intracellular lipids with too much fat in your insulin cells, obesity, if you calorie restrict, that'll help, and veganism. Veganism isn't an issue, as I will explain later on in the video. Whole food plant-based diets are the best way to reverse Crohn's disease. Meat, including fish, cheese, and animal protein intake, have been associated with an increased risk of inflammatory bowel disease. In the meantime, plant-based diets not only help prevent such conditions but treat them as well, resulting in the longest recorded remission rates for Crohn's disease. That's from nutritionfacts.org. Also, 3 things raise LDL: sat fats, trans fats, and cholesterol. The carnivore diet is a more restrictive variation of the ketogenic diet. Why would anybody want that? It's very low in carbs and will put you in ketosis, which has tremendous health benefits according to this article, which it doesn't. Also sometimes referred to as the all meat or zero carb diet. Obesity is caused by eating too many calories for your activity level, which is hard to do on a whole food plant-based diet, and the lion diet's an even more restrictive version of this. You probably have heard of her. She's the daughter of speaker and psychologist Jordan Peterson, one of the biggest advocates of the carnivore diet. She's an absolute madman, absolute terrible person, and the embodiment of what I preach. Why? Her symptoms list as a child was long and her medicine list was longer. She was diagnosed with arthritis, hyperinsomnia, depression, and anxiety. She was put on amphetamines just to stay awake and immunosuppressants for the arthritis. She walked around in the haze and felt like she was constantly in a pit of doom. But instead of playing victim for her unfortunate lot in life, she took back control through her diet, and now she is simply symptom-free. If someone represents Chapter 1 of her father's book, 12 Rules for Life, it's Michaela. How did Michaela cure issues? She masked them, she didn't cure them. How does it differ from a standard carnivore diet? A few main ways. It includes only ruminant meat, thus removing non-ruminant animals, dairy, and eggs. High fat encourages fasting. Researchers found that people who once ate vegetarian diets but then started eating meat at least once a week were reported to have experienced a 146% increase in odds of heart disease, 152% increase in stroke, 166% increase in diabetes, 231% increase in odds for weight gain. During the 12 years after the transition from vegetarian to omnivore, eating was associated with 3.6-year decrease in life expectancy. So quite literally, beef and ruminant animals is dangerous for human health. Also, carnivore diets are extremely high in fat anyway, so that's not different at all. While the longest lived people historically are Okinawa, Japan, as they traditionally ate a very high carb diet. 80 to 90% of the calories come from carbs. Vegan diets done right are very high carb, which don't spike IGF-1 levels, which raise risk of chronic disease. In the 5th grade, she was put on antidepressants, which was her first foray into the pharmaceutical merry-go-round. Of course, they didn't cure her issues. To add insult to injury, she became chronically fatigued. Her joints began to deteriorate. Her depression only got worse. By the age 17, she lost both her hip and ankle joints. At many points, she was literally and metaphorically on her deathbed. Like so many other carnivores. Why? The traditional medicine route failed Michaela. Fails a lot of people. That's why I say eat whole plant foods. She circled the healthcare system like a motion sick kid on a merry-go-round. One doctor after another tried to numb her symptoms with pills, draining her energy and bank account along the way. Instead of figuring out the root cause of her issues, doctors papered over the symptoms, which is true, that's what they do. When one drug didn't work, they whipped out their prescription pads and tried another. This is ineptitude, like a babysitter who gives a kid matches to play with. I agree with that, but don't go carnivore for the reasons I've explained and will explain. Her diet will give you a whole array of health issues, as I will discuss some of them, as I've discussed before, and some more issues. 1. Cuts out everything inflammatory. We live in an age of inflammation. Almost everybody walking around is inflamed like a walking mosquito bite. It's not just superficial either. Inflammation is related to almost every disease. Almost every health problem has some immune inflammatory component, especially autoimmune disease, of course. One hypothesis is why autoimmune disorders develop is because of leaky gut, which is where the tight junctions of your gut separate and allow foreign substances to enter in your bloodstream, which puts your human immune system on higher alert. Leaky gut, SIBO, and those sorts of medical problems can be cured on a whole food plant-based diet. Check out Goji Man and Hinge Herbivore. They've both treated that sort of stuff. The Lion diet increases nutrient density. No, it doesn't. By nutrients are vital for all cellular function. They play a role in everything from growth to immune support to brain function. Many also have antioxidant properties that can protect against diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's. But most people are extremely deficient in vitamins. Some of the common ones are vitamin D. Most Americans are deficient in vitamin D because they don't get adequate sunlight or supplement. B12. Is a lot of people have B12 deficiencies because they don't supplement right and they don't take care of themselves. Iron, 25% of the world is deficient in iron. Anemia is even more common amongst vegans. No. My iron levels went way up after going vegan. Zinc, 1.1 billion people are deficient worldwide. This paints a disturbing picture. No wonder chronic disease is so prevalent. It's because of fat and cholesterol and animal protein, which is hugely burdensome to the kidneys. The brain is a micronutrient hungry organ. Deficiencies tend to make their mark there. And then they mentioned folate deficiency linked to depression. A number of other nutrients predominantly found in animal products critical for brain function are zinc, selenium, creatine, and carnitine. Creatine and carnitine your body makes by bonding amino acids together. Meat and animal products have the most bioavailable form of every nutrient. That is good to some extent, but you don't want too much of that. That's why I steer clear of it. The Lion diet is high in animal products, which increase nutrient density. Kayla will also occasionally eat organ meats, which are among the most nutrient-dense foods in the world. Organ meats will filter toxins, so I would stay away from them. D comes from the sun, but if you live in northern latitude, I live in southeastern Ohio, so I do. I take a supplement from algae, which I do. B12 is a good idea to supplement because of all the problems with modern agriculture. 1/3 of Americans are B12 deficient, and yet only 2 to 5% of Americans are vegan. 8% are vegetarian. Heme iron is toxic in high doses, while non-heme iron, which my body uses a lot of because of my hand right now, can control how much is absorbed through tightly controlled processes. I've had blood work done a few months ago and all my levels are fine. Folate comes from foliage, which means plants. Selenium is not an issue on veganism either. 1 Brazil nut a day is more than enough. But there are other good sources. Black-eyed peas and asparagus are staples in my diet, and they're both big in selenium. The Lion diet gets you into ketosis. No, don't do that. Fasting may improve health. Fasting is unnecessary if you eat enough calories from the right sources. Fasting is not needed on a whole food plant-based diet and is quite dangerous as well. To conclude, I want to say that most people fail at veganism because they fail to get enough calories in and get digestive issues from eating 20 mangoes a day and other bad diets. The final point that I will make, though, is that this diet is obscenely expensive. I spent $42 recently on groceries. I live in a small town that's pretty cheap to live in, and I brought some processed junk because I'm healing from this. I also have a good supply of dried beans and grains, so I didn't need much. To conclude that this diet is expensive, even the cheaper cuts of acceptable meat on the line diet, apart from the organs, are $15 to $20 a pound or more. Peace.